जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांगगंधा विकगिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जय। नित्यल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शुतर शुत शिशुमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। नित्यल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शुतर शुत शिशुमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शुतर शुत शिशुमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार अष्टतर शुत शिशुमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यल प्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्री गौर बाबाजी महाराज की जय। नित्यल प्रविष्ट श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्यल प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानु गौरिय गुरु वर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ शार गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय। नाम अचय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदाति गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री मुन देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माय की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव जय। श्री मध्वाचार्य की जय। जय श्री मध्वाचार्य की जय। तदीय शुभ तिरुभाव तिथि की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री चाराचार्य की जय। चार संप्रदाय की जय। जय श्री अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्ण एवरीबॉडी दंडवत प्रणाम। हरि बोल। किशोर कृष्ण प्रभु, Raseshwari Mataji, Ganga Mataji, and anybody else who's tuning in later on. Dandava pranams. Okay, so I'm going to, let's go through the Mangala Charan and begin the reading. All right. अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। आजानुलम्बितभुजौ कनकावदातौ सङ्कीर्तनैकपितरौ कमलायताक्षौ विश्वम्भरो द्विजवरो युगधर्मपालौ वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरौ करुणावतारौ नमस्त्रिकालसत्याय जगन्नाथसुताय च सभृत्याय सपुत्राय सकलत्राय ते नमः। जय 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 विश्वम्भर द्विजराज जय विश्वम्भर प्रिय वैष्णव समाज गौरचंद्र जय धर्म सेतु महाधीर जय संकीर्तनमय सुंदर शरीर जय नित्यानंदेर बांधव धन प्राण जय गदाधर अद्वैतेर प्रेम धाम जय श्री जगरानंद प्रिय अतिशय जय वक्रेश्वर काशीश्वर हृदय जय जय शिवासारी प्रिय वर्गनाथ जीव प्रतिकोर प्रभु शुभ दृष्टिपात मध्य खंड कथा जेन अमृतेर खंड जे कथा सुनिले घुचे अंतर पाषंड मध्य खंड कथा भाई सुनो एक चित्ते संकीर्तन आरंभ होइलो जेनो मते तवाय वास्मि न जीवामि त्वया विना iti vigyaya devi tvam nayamam charanantikam. Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshai kshiptashtakama ditaranga madhe kripamai tvam sharanam prapanna vrinde namaste charanaravindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Shubhananda Prabhu, and Krishna Maya Didi, and Vidya Lalasa Didi. Hare Krishna. 1 second, my feet are getting attacked by a bunch of mosquitoes. I'm just gonna get some socks. Really distracting. Ah. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, the glories of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata and Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur from Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita. Ore mura loko shuno Chaitanya mangal, Chaitanya mahima jate jani beshakal. Krishna lila bhagavate kohe ved vyas, Chaitanya lila vyas vrindavana das. Vrindavana dasa koilo Chaitanya mangal. Jahara Shravane nashe sarvaya mangal. Chaitanya nitar jate jani mahima. Jate jani Krishna bhakti siddhanter sima. Bhagavate jato bhakti siddhanter sar. Likhiya chin iha jani koriya udhar. Chaitanya Mangala Shune Jadi Pashandi Javan Sheho Maha Vaishnava Hoy Tatakon Manushe Rachite Nare Aiche Granta Dhanya Vrindavana Dasa Mukhe Bhakta Shri Chaitanya Vrindavana Dasa Pore Koti Namaskar Aiche Granta Korite Ho Tarila Sangsar Narayani Chaitanyer Uchishta Bhajan Tar Garbe Janmila Shidasa Vrindavan Tar ki Arbhuta Chaitanya Charita Varnan Jahara Shravane Shuddha Koilo Tribhuvan Shahaje Vichitra Madhur Chaitanya Vihar Vrindavana Dasamukhe Amrite Dhar. By nature, all the activities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet. And when they are described by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. The Gaudiya Bhashya of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai. Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai. Saparshad Shri Gaur Hari ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Gaur. Hare Krishna, everybody. Dandavat pranams, Vankshiwala Prabhu, Hari Priya Didi, oh, Bhavatarani Mataji, and if Nari Hari Prabhu is there also, pranams, and Subhadra Didi, and everybody else. Hare Krishna. All right, so I wanted to give you guys a little update on our Chaitanya Bhagavat readings. Yesterday I calculated, I got, actually, why don't I just show you? 1 second. Okay, so I made this calendar here. Where is it? It's Chaitanya Bhagavat. Okay, so these will be our next Chaitanya Bhagavat readings. So tomorrow today we're finishing chapter 23. Tomorrow we'll read chapter 24. Day after that, chapter 25. then 25 again. I calculated everything so that we can finish everything, all our Chaitanya-bhāgavata readings on the 26th. 26 will be, wait, let me turn on. Okay, yeah. So 26. So that's the day before my Param Gurudev's Srila Bhaktivedanta Keshava Goswami Maharaj's 126th Vyas Puja. So we'll have Madhya-khaṇḍa complete by then. And then we'll, on the 28th, we'll read about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. And 29th as well. Of course, that's the 150th Vyas Puja day. So we'll have, I don't know what we'll do yet, but we should do something extra special. And then I was trying to figure out when we should start reading the Adi Kanda of Chaitanya-bhāgavata. And I want to finish everything, our reading on Vrindavan Das Thakur's appearance day. No, wait, disappearance day. We started our Chaitanya-bhāgavata reading on Vrindavan Das Thakur's appearance day, kind of. And then we'll be finishing on his disappearance day. I thought that would be like a really nice way to set it up. Begin with Vrindavan Das Thakur and end with Vrindavan Das Thakur on his day. And so that will be from Srila Saraswati Thakur's, no, from my Param Gurudev's day, which is the 26th, I think. It will be 66 days. That gives us 66 days to finish the Madhya-khaṇḍa. Now, I calculated the at the speed we're going at right now, an interesting fact, we're going to finish Madhya-khaṇḍa in 70 days. It took us exactly 70 days to read the Adi Kanda, even though the Adi Kanda is a lot shorter. But I guess with Madhya-khaṇḍa, I've been reading a lot more. I've been fitting more into the reading. And I guess I haven't been doing as long as like I've just been doing a really shorter recap. I think with Adi Kanda, we're doing longer recaps. And so that's why we've been able to read faster. So at this pace, it will take us 37 days to read the Antya-khaṇḍa. So we have 66 days to read Antya-khaṇḍa, and it will only take 37 days of reading. But then I calculated that there are six from now until Vrindavan Das Thakur's disappearance day. There'll be 6 festivals that we would want to just dedicate, like not read Chaitanya-bhāgavata, but like, for example, like Gaur Purnima and of course Nityananda Trayodashi, and what other days are there? There are some like big days. Shiva Chaturdashi. Those days we can just focus on the personality of the day. And so there are 6 days like that. Then I'm giving 8 days for Navadvīpa Parikrama and Gaur Purnima. And yeah, so if you subtract that, then that leaves 14 extra days. So then we could either read for 14 days about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, or something. I just made a proposal to our Raise of the Harmonist team. I'm still waiting for a response, but I thought it would be nice on the 150th day to do something in honor of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada that would last a long time, not just like a short, like, a thing around his titi, but I thought it'd be nice to do something like at least like a year or 2-year thing in honor of Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. And so my idea, I'm hoping the Raise of the Harmonist team agreed to it, but I wanted to make a website, raiseoftheharmonist.com. We already have that domain name, but we don't have any special website exactly. So I wanted to, like, all the Raise of the Harmonist articles, all the magazines, which we aren't printing anymore, but the articles in them by our acharyas, they're my favorite. They're the most nourishing things for me. Reading the biographies of our Guru Varga and those articles, those are like my 2 favorite things that give me the most enthusiasm in. And so I thought what would be nice, but they're all just in magazine. They're not available online. So I thought a way to slowly prepare all the articles, like make them available online, is every Shukla Akadashi, we'll read, I'll post on the website an article by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Then every Krishna Panchami, I will post an article by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, and we'll have a special reading for it. We'll replace the Chaitanya-bhāgavata program with a reading of that, with that article. And it's just one article, so that will give us enough time to discuss it and try to go deep into it, and like, not just like read through it quickly and then end, but like we can really try to digest or understand, at least digest. Yeah. Okay, so Shukla Kadashi Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Krishna Panchami, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, and then on Krishna Akadashi, then it will be the article by my Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti-Prigan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. And then on Dwadashi, when there's another one of his godbrothers, then we could read an article by him. And some issues we had extra, like an article by Srila Bhakti Puri Goswami Maharaj or Srila Bhakti Srila Goswami. So that would be the first year. And then, and also Srila Bhakti Dayat Madhva Goswami Maharaj. That would be the first year. We just focus on those, mainly those three personalities. Then the next year, we'll start over again from the top and read articles first by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Then that would be on Gaur Akadashi. Yeah, then no, that would be Gaur Panchami. Then Gaur Akadashi would be an article by Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj. Then Krishna Panchami would be an article by Srila Bhaktivedanta Trivikram Goswami Maharaj. And then Krishna Akadashi would be an article from Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And so then slowly over time, we will go through every single article that was ever published in Rays of the Harmonist. And they are phenomenal. Like they're life-changing, these articles. And we'll be able to like really slowly and methodically, deeply go through them all. Yeah. And then they'll all be available online. So you'll have access to them and you'll be able to search through them and reference them and all that. So I just said that would be a really easy, sustainable way of preparing all the articles, making an archive, and also going through them. So I don't know. Sorry, that just took way longer than I was imagining. But so that would take up a lot of the 14 days. And so then we'll have like a few days to read about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. But yeah, anyways, that's my plan right now. Thanks for letting me take so long. All right, so now I'm going to do a quick recap because I took too long to explain all that. And now, and then we don't have that much left in this chapter. And afterwards, we'll read something about Srila Madhvācārya for his disappearance day. I'm just looking at the comments. Okay. Jai Ho. Cool. Thanks, Krishna Mai. Haribol, Rukmini Didi, and Vidya Lalasa Didi. Okay, great. Glad you like it. Hare Krishna, Gargaraj Ji, Dandavat Pranam. Okay, cool. All right, so chapter 23, wandering about Navadvīpa on the day the Lord delivered the Kazi. This chapter describes Sriman Mahaprabhu's enjoyment of nightly Sankirtan with his devotees, a milk-drinking brahmachari's request to Srivas to see the Sankirtan dancing, Srivas's bringing him to his house, the Lord's anger, the Lord's explanation on the insignificance of useless austerity, the Lord's mercy on the milk-drinking brahmachari, the Lord's instruction to the inhabitants of Navadvīpa to chant the Mahamantra, the breaking of the mridanga by the Kazi, the Lord's resultant anger, and the procession to subdue the Kazi, the Hari Kirtan throughout the villages of Navadvīpa, the auspicious welcome at every house, and the showering of flowers by the demigods, the inhabitants' ecstatic festival, the atheists' envy, the Lord's instructions to subdue the Kazi, the Lord's neglect of the Kazi on the request of the devotees, the Lord's visits to the villages of the conchal merchants and weavers, the Lord's visits to the house of Sridhar, his drinking water from Sridhar's broken iron water pot, and narrations of the devotees' glories. Okay, so that was one more thing. Sorry. I forgot to mention. So when we finish the Antya-khaṇḍa of Caitanya-bhāgavata on Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur's disappearance day, which is on May 3rd, then on May May 8th will be Godada Pandit's appearance day. And I thought that would be a nice day to start. I want to go through every single one of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's kirtans from beginning to end. Like I want to go through all of Kalyana Kalpataru, all of Sharanagati, all of Gitavali, all of Gitamala. Gitamala is a little bit more difficult, well, a lot more difficult actually. But anyways, we can figure it out. But yeah, go through all those books. And so I don't know exactly how we would do it, but maybe like 2 kirtans a day, 2 songs by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur a day, depending on the length. And then I thought we could really spend a lot of time and try to understand each word of the song, and then maybe have a discussion on it and sing it together. And then we would be then over maybe like bit less than a year, I think, we would become very familiar with every single song that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ever wrote. And also, you'll for those of you who want to learn, who want to understand the grammar of the songs and be able to understand the songs more, like, yeah, we'll go through that so that you'll start to become more familiar. So that when you're singing songs, you'll actually really know what you're saying, not just knowing a word for word, but actually understand the language of it. That really helps. So anyways, that was my plan. So 5 days after we finish Caitanya-bhāgavata, we'll start a new program for just focusing on Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's songs. Yeah, so just an idea right now, but I'd be curious to hear what you think about it also. All right, so now here's the more in-depth summary by Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. One day, a milk-drinking brahmachari requested Srivas to allow him to secretly watch the Lord's kirtan pastimes. Understanding that he was a brahmachari who subsisted on foods in the mode of goodness, Srivas brought him into his house. According to Srivas's plan, the Brahman remains there in secret. But while performing kirtan, the Lord, who is the super soul of all, said, "I am not feeling any ecstasy in the kirtan today. Perhaps a materialistic person has entered the house." Srivas fearfully informs the Lord that since a milk-drinking brahmachari had requested to see the kirtan, he had allowed him to secretly remain in the house. On hearing this, the Lord angrily said that without surrendering to Krishna, no one can achieve devotional service to Krishna simply by undergoing useless austerity. He therefore ordered that the Brahman should leave the house. The Brahman then left the house out of fear and began to appreciate his good fortune of having received a short darshan. At that time, the most merciful Sri Gaurasundar called him back, and after placing his lotus feet on the Brahman's head, he prohibited him from becoming proud of his austerities. Since the Lord performed Sankirtan behind closed doors, the pious inhabitants were unable to see the Lord's Sankirtan pastimes. They therefore condemned the atheists and declared that the Lord performed kirtan behind closed doors because of the atheists, and as a result, pious people were also unable to enter. To see the Lord, some people stood on the road in front of Srivasa's house. They're all longing to have darshan of the Lord's kirtan. During the day, the pious inhabitants went to see the Lord with various gifts. When they offered obeisances at the lotus feet of the Lord, Śrī Caitanya-dev blessed them with the words, "May you all attain devotional service to Krishna," and instructed them to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And as I mentioned yesterday, we're going to be adding those a few verses from this section into the Gaudiya Kirtikucha. Every evening, the inhabitants engaged in performing Sankirtan with kartals. In this way, by the mercy of the Lord, the entire city began to perform kirtan. When the Lord, who enacted the pastime of offering all respects to others without expecting any respect for himself, when he went to all the inhabitants with a straw between his teeth, and after embracing them humbly, requested them to chant, they cried and took shelter of the devotional service. They took shelter of devotional service of kirtan in response to the Lord's heartfelt request. When they all engaged in the performance of Sankirtan with instruments like mridangas and conch shells, the materialists considered their engagements equal to their own performance of Toryatrika. And that's, according to the Sanskrit dictionary, that's a symphony of song, dance, and musical instruments. But kind of, yeah, just like mundane, whatever, music and dance, all that. So they considered it equal to their own performance of Toryatrika and an untimely invocation in the worship of Mahamaya, and so they denounced them with various harsh words. One day, by the will of Providence, the infidel Kazi heard the sound of the kirtan as he was walking on the road. After beating some of the participants and breaking a mridanga, he prohibited further kirtan and promised more severe punishment for those who again engaged in chanting. When the Kazi, with his sinful associates, wandered about the city and prohibited further kirtan, the atheists became jubilant. In their jubilation, they began to ridicule the devotees in various ways. When the town residents were prevented from attaining kirtan bliss, they informed the Lord of what had taken place and told him of their plans to depart there in distress. We're not able to do kirtan here, so we'll move away so that we can do kirtan somewhere else. The Lord roared loudly in anger, and he ordered all the inhabitants to each bring a lamp and accompany him for the purpose of subduing the Kazi. This order was announced everywhere. Hundreds of thousands of people with hundreds of thousands of burning lamps gathered before the Lord. The Lord then, and the description of this was just so intense and dramatic and just awesome. But then the Lord arranged separate kirtan groups, and they all began to proceed down the road by the bank of the Ganga. Wherever the Lord went in the course of the procession, everyone, including women, children, and elders, left their respective household duties and fell flat at the lotus feet of the Lord. And so all the villages that the Lord went through, the party became bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger because everybody just left everything and would join. On seeing everyone intoxicated with ecstatic love for Krishna, the hearts of the atheists began to burn with envy. They thought, if the Kazi comes now, their kirtan bliss will burn to ashes. Eventually, Śrī Caitanya began to proceed towards the Kazi's house. On hearing the sound of the singing and the musical instruments, the Kazi sent his servants to investigate. When those servants heard the words, "Kill the Kazi!" they quickly returned to the Kazi and informed him. When the Kazi heard this report, he and his associates immediately left. As the procession approached the Kazi's house and the Lord ordered that those who opposed the kirtan should be punished, everyone began to tear apart the Kazi's house and uproot the mango and jackfruit trees. When the Lord then ordered them to burn the Kazi's house, all the devotees folded their hands and requested him to restrain his pastime of anger. Being pacified by the appeal of the devotees, the Lord went through the villages of the conch shell merchants and weavers to the house of Sridhar. It's interesting, in the Caitanya-bhāgavata, it doesn't describe the conversation that the Lord that Mahaprabhu had with the Kazi. But then, while dancing in the house of Sridhar, the Lord drank water from Sridhar's iron water pot that had been repaired 100 times, and it was meant for external use. It wasn't meant for drinking. We read. On seeing this, Sridhar felt great pain within his heart and fell unconscious. He said, "Marilu, Marilu." Something, do you want to destroy me, Sanghari? Like, yeah. On seeing this, Sridhar felt great pain within his heart, fell unconscious. Thereafter, the Lord narrated the glories of drinking a Vaishnav's water. And this is what we're going to be reading about today, is the glories of devotees. Just a little bit left in this chapter. Yes, and Kishore is mentioning that the discussion that the discussion that Mahaprabhu had with the Kazi is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. If I wasn't in such a rush to finish the Madhya-khaṇḍa, then it would have, like, I would have read from Chaitanya Charitamrita also, but I really want to finish before Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's 150th. Okay. Where I'm just seeing, last time we read up to verse, oops, 3, shoot, 1 second. Okay, last time we read up to verse 459. Okay. Maybe we can read from the point of when Mahaprabhu went to Sridhar's place. Yeah, let's just go back a little bit, because today's all about Sridhar now, our reading. Okay. Actually, let's go up here. Okay, I'm not going to read all this. I'm going to skip some verses, but I just want to um this is so intense. This story was so crazy though, because it was like there was like devotees like gonna rip off the heads of the atheists and I'm gonna kill the Kazi and like uprooting trees. And it said people would like jump on trees and jump off, break the branches, and they started breaking down the door and the like breaking the whole house down and everything. And then Mahaprabhu said, surround it from all sides and burn them all inside the house. It was like all this like really intense stuff. But then every now and then there'd be a verse like, and the devotees picked flowers from the flower trees and put them behind their ears and are dancing in ecstasy. Haribol is like such a mix of like, yeah, it was really exciting this chapter. Like look at this. They tore flowers from with their stems from the uprooted plants and tucked them behind their ears while chanting the name of Hari. It's like too dramatic. Even if yeah, even if everyone there just took one leaf each, there would have not been any left in the Kazi's house on the trees. When the outside of the Kazi's house was broken, the Lord ordered, burn the inside of the house. Let the Kazi burn to death along with his associates. Surround the house and set it on fire from all sides. Let me see what the king can do to me. Let me see who saves the Kazi today. Yamaraj, time and death are the servants of my servants. Everything is manifested simply by my glance. I have incarnated to inaugurate the Sankirtan movement. I will destroy those sinners who are inimical to Kirtan. Even if the most sinful person chants the holy names, I will certainly remember him. But if even ascetics, sannyasis, gyanis, and yogis do not engage in Kirtan, I will destroy them. Do not be afraid. Go and set the house on fire. Today, I will annihilate the Yavanas. On seeing the Lord's anger, all the devotees wrapped cloth around their necks and fell flat at his feet. After raising their arms, the devotees grasped the Lord's feet and appealed to him as follows. Said, Lord Sankarshan is your plenary portion. He never gets angry at an improper time. Okay, I'm going to skip some verses. Oh Lord, it is not proper to neglect the statements of the Vedas, which declare you are free from anger and eternally blissful. Akrodha Paramananda. Okay, and so I'm going to they further prayed, all glories to Vishwambar Maharaj, the controller of all controllers, all glories to Gaurasundar, the Lord of the universe. As Mahaprabhu listened to the prayers of his servants, he smiled. He then chanted the name of Hari and relished the ecstasy of dancing as he departed from that place. After punishing the Kazi, the Lord of all danced along with the devotees in the ecstasy of Sankirtan. The devotees blew conch shells and played mridangas, wampers, and kartals as they chanted, Jai Ram Krishna Gopala Govinda Gopal. After breaking the Kazi's house, all the residents of Navadvīpa chanted the name of Hari and danced down the road in ecstasy. The atheists' hearts were broken and they became full of lamentation because of the devotees' jubilation. Okay, skipping some more verses. No one could tell who was dancing in which direction, who was singing, who was playing musical instrument, or who was running in which direction. The devotees chanted in the front, and Mahaprabhu, the son of Shachi, danced behind. Okay. Then Vishwambar, accompanied by innumerable millions of people, then entered the village of conchal merchants. The village of conchal merchants became filled with happiness as they chanted the names of Hari, blew conch shells, played mridangas, and rang bells. Oh, sorry. Did you want to say something? Nari Hari Prabhu?
Oh, no. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought. Okay. So the road that Vishwambar danced along was covered with flowers, and most attractive torches burned in the four directions. I am unable to describe the beauty of the moon under the illumination of which Lord Gaurahari performed his kirtan. There were filled water pots, bananas, and mango leaves at every doorstep. The ladies made auspicious sounds and chanted the names of Hari. After gracing the entire village in this way, the Lord went to the village of the weavers. As a tumultuous vibration of auspicious sounds arose, the weavers became overwhelmed in ecstasy. All the residents of Navadvīpa clapped their hands and they danced and chanted, Hari Bol, Mukunda, Gopal, Vanamali. The Lord smiled as he heard the name of Hari emanate from everyone's mouth. The Lord then danced down the road to the residence of Sridhar. The Lord then entered Sridhar's house, which consisted of one broken room. At Sridhar's doorway, He had one iron water pot that had been repaired a number of times. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. 1 second. 1 second. Put in the waiting. I need to turn on. Shoot. I think we're getting whatchamacallit. Let me go security, then enable rating room. There. Okay. We're getting whatchamacallit. What is it called? Anyways, I just made a waiting room. So now anybody who tries to join. Yikes, that was scary. How do I remove this? 1 second. How do I remove the annotation thing? I've never used the annotation feature. Maybe I'll just stop sharing and then start again. Maybe that will get rid of it. Yeah, Zoom trolls. Okay. Yeah, so now nobody will be able to join the Zoom thing because I turned on the waiting room. Okay, that got rid of it. Okay, so at Sridhar's doorway, he had one iron water pot that had been repaired a number of times. Even a thief would not steal it. As Mahaprabhu danced in Sridhar's courtyard, he saw that pot of water. If anybody wants to join, leaves and wants to join again, send me a WhatsApp message so that I can let you in. Okay. To display his love for his devotees, Sri Shachinandan suddenly picked up that iron water pot. Mahaprabhu then drank water from that pot in his own ecstasy. Who had the power to stop him? Sridhar exclaimed, Marilo, Marilo, Mora Sangharite, She Aila Mora Ghar. I am finished. He has come to my house to kill me, to destroy me. After speaking in this way, the pious Sridhar lost consciousness. The Lord then said, Today my body has become purified. Today, by drinking Sridhar's water, I have attained devotion for the lotus feet of Krishna. Now I have attained devotional service to Vishnu. After speaking these words, tears flowed from his eyes. The merciful Lord Gauranga revealed to everyone that one attains devotional service to Vishnu by drinking a Vaishnav's water. I'm just going to write a message in our WhatsApp group. If anyone wants to join Zoom, send me a WhatsApp message. Okay, so the merciful Lord Gauranga revealed to everyone that one attains devotional service to Vishnu by drinking a Vaishnav's water. And now there's this quote from Padma Puran. To become freed from all reactions, learned persons should sincerely beg for the Lord's remnants, or the foods offered by the Vaishnavas, or the Vaishnav's remnants. If one is unable to obtain those, he should drink the remnants of a Vaishnav's water, or the water that has washed his feet. When the devotees saw the Lord display his affection for his devotee, they all began to cry in great ecstasy. Nityananda, Gadadhar, Advaita, and Srivas all fell to the ground crying. Haridas, Gangadas, Vakeshwar, Murari, Mukunda, and Sri Chandrasekhar all began to cry. Govinda, Govindananda, Sri Garbha, Shriman, Kashishwar, Sri Jagarananda, and Rama also began to cry. Jagadish, Gopinath, Nandanacharya, Shuklambar, Guruda, and many others all began to cry. Millions of people held their heads, cried, and exclaimed, Oh, dear Krishna, oh, my Lord, oh, Lord of the helpless. I'm unable to describe what happened at Sridhar's house, where loving devotional service was fully manifested. Prem Bhakti Hoilo Prakash. As everyone cried and chanted the name of Krishna in ecstasy, Gaurachandra smiled, for his mission was fulfilled. How did the people get my WhatsApp? Oh my God, I think they got access to my WhatsApp group. Shoot. Dang it. What do I do about this? Anyways, I'll have to figure that out later. Wait, I can make this private somehow? Shoot. Anyways, I'm gonna remove this guy. Sorry. Anyways, whatever. Sorry guys. Wait 1 second. Actually, I should do this now just in case it will cause a problem. So I'm going to change the WhatsApp group thing. 1 second. Okay, I'm going to change the WhatsApp group link. And then I'll have to change it everywhere else, just so that no other people can join the WhatsApp group. 1 second. This will just take a second, I think. Thank you guys for it's been taking a long time for us to get to the reading. Okay, I'm locking the chat. No. Where is it? Group permissions? No. Where is it? Sorry, I'm just a bit. Reset link. There it is. Okay. There. Now nobody can join our WhatsApp group. Oh, thank you. Okay. So as everyone cried and chanted the name of Krishna in ecstasy, Gaurachandra smiled, for his mission was fulfilled. Oh, brothers, just see the glories of the devotees. The Lord displays his greatest affection for his devotees. Okay, just blocked the person from trying to call me again. What am I doing now? Okay, so we're reading up to verse 460. Okay, got it. It was an iron water pot filled with water meant for external use. It wasn't even for drinking, that iron water pot. It was an outside, for. Yet the Lord most affectionately drank all of it, all the water in that pot. When the Lord developed a transcendental desire to drink, that devotee's water became the purest nectar. The Lord drank water from such a pot to reveal the glories of devotional service and to show that from the spiritual point of view, everything belonging to a Vaishnava is pure. Even if he is thirsty, the Lord does not glance at water offered by a proud person in an opulent jeweled water cup. The Lord eats with full satisfaction any item offered by his servant, regardless of whether the offering was made according to regulations. Even if his servant does not offer an item because he considers it too insignificant, the Lord forcibly eats it. The evidence of this was when the Lord ate Sudama Brahman's broken. Oh wait, no, this is where we're reading from here. Okay, sorry guys. I'm a bit frazzled because I'm not used to dealing with all this kind of stuff. Oh wait, and I blocked the guy from the chat who joined, right? Just making sure. Yes. Yeah, okay, good. So there's no more threat from him anymore. Great. Yeah, okay, perfect. Sorry, I just want to protect everybody else also. Okay. Dambike Ratna Patra. Oh wait, I see Baba Tarani Mataji's in the waiting room. Admit. Okay. Dambike Ratna Patra Devya Jalasane Achuk Pibar Karya Na Dekhe Nayane Je She Dravya Seva Ker Sarva Bhave Khai naivedyadi vidhir o apeksha nahi chai. Alpadravya dase o na dile bole khai. Tar shakshi brahmaner khuda dwarakai. Avashishye seva kere kore atmasat. Tar shakshi vanavase yudhishthir shaka. Seva ker Krishner pita mata patni bhai. Dasa boy Krishner dvitiya arnai. She rupa chintaye dase. She rupa hoy. Dase Krishne kori bare pare vikrai. Even if he is thirsty, the Lord does not glance at the water offered by a proud person in an opulent jeweled water cup. The Lord eats with full satisfaction any item offered by his servant, regardless of whether the offering was made according to regulations. Even if his servant does not offer an item because he considers it too insignificant, the Lord forcibly eats it. The evidence of this was when the Lord ate Sudama Brahman's broken rice in Dwarka. The Lord even accepts the remnants of his servants. This was seen during the Pandavas' exile to the forest when the Lord ate the remnants of Yudhishthir's leafy vegetables. Krishna's father, mother, wife, and brother are all his servants. Krishna does not recognize anyone than his servants. The Lord accepts the form that his servant meditates on, and Krishna's servant can even sell him. Whatever form the servant meditates on, the Lord will accept that form. And Krishna's servants can even sell him. Gaudiya Bhashya by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. Okay, for an elaboration on verse 462, one should see Śrīmad Bhagavatam 10th Canto, chapter 81. For an elaboration on verse 463, one should see Mahabharata Vanaparva chapters 261 to 262. If anyone in the material world has many possessions, then he naturally becomes proud. Such a proud person then takes shelter of misconceptions like, I am the best, I am rich, I am the best controller of ingredients for worshiping the Lord, I am a great devotee. And Vaishnavas like Sridhar Swami are Mayavadis. Lord Sri Gaurasundar does not even glance at such people or desire to accept any of their offerings. The awe and reverence of this material world is unable to oblige the Supreme Lord, who is the object of Vishramba Sakya, friendship and equality, Vatsalya, parenthood, and Madhurya, conjugal love. So the Lord, who is the object of these rasas, he is the object of these rasas, are these transcendental mellows. The Supreme Lord forcibly yet affectionately takes even an insignificant item that is given by his poor devotee. And the Lord ignores items offered according to proper etiquette by wealthy, proud persons. The Supreme Lord affectionately accepted the broken rice offered by Sudama Vipra, who is a resident of Sudama Puri, Dwarka, modern-day Porbandar. Interesting. The Lord accepted with pleasure the leafy vegetables collected in the forest and offered by Yudhishthir during his exile. The wife, father, mother, friend, and servant of Krishna, who is the object of worship, are certainly all his servants. The Supreme Lord's service, which is the wealth of those servants who are associates in the Lord's eternal pastimes, is executed by different servants in different rasas. Sevaka Vatsala Prabhu Chari Vede Gai Sevaker Sthane Krishna Prakashe Sadai. The four Vedas declare, the Lord is affectionate to his servants. Krishna always manifests himself to his servants. Nayana bhoriya dekho daser prabhav heno dasya bhave Krishne koro anurag. Behold the influence of the Lord's servants to the full satisfaction of your eyes, and then become attached to Krishna in that mood of service. Alpa heno namani ho Krishna dasanam, alpa bhage dasanahi kore bhagavan. Do not consider the designation servant of Krishna as something insignificant, for the Supreme Lord does not accept a less fortunate person as servant. Gaudiya Bhashya. The topmost persons of this material world are engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord. Not understanding this fact, conditioned souls with high aspirations ascertain various non-devotional activities as sadhan, yet the goals they ultimately achieve as a result of that sadhan are all examples of aversion to the Lord's service. When a human being's propensity for the service of the Supreme Lord is fully awakened, he becomes supremely glorious. The Lord's devotees, who always desire the benefit of others, pray that everyone's attachment to Krishna may increase. The object of service is pleased only by service. The endeavor to fulfill the desires of the object of service is called bhakti, or devotional service. This conviction is manifested in the hearts of the most fortunate persons. Since the relishable taste of the Lord's service is not a subject matter of unfortunate people's realization, their fortune is burned to ashes. Their good fortune is burned to ashes. The Supreme Lord does not award his service to such unfortunate people. Bahu koti janma je korilo nija dharma, ahingsar amayai kore sarva karma, aharnisha dasya bhave je kore prarthana, ganga labhya hoy kale boli narayana. One who for millions of lifetimes executes all his occupational duties with sincerity and non-violence, and who day and night prays to the Lord in the mood of a servant, ultimately remembers Narayan at the time of death. Gaudiya Bhashya. By praying for the service of the Supreme Lord, one attains the good fortune of uttering the name Narayan and entering the waters of the Ganga at the time of death. This refers to the good fortune of having the ashes of one's cremated body immersed in the water of the Ganga. Tabe hoy mukta sarva bandher vinash, mukta hoyle hoy she govinder das. He then attains liberation, being freed from all bondage. When one is thus liberated, he becomes a servant of Govinda. E vyakya kore bhashya karer samaje, mukta shab lila tano kori Krishna bhaje. The explanation of those who comment on the scriptures is that liberated souls accept bodies suitable for the Lord's pastimes and engage in the worship of Krishna. In his commentary on Śrīmad Bhagavatam 1087-21, Sridhar Swami quotes Sarvagya Vishnu Swami as follows. This is also this is Caitanya-bhāgavata. This is in Gaudiya Bhashya. So, Mukta api lilaya vigraham. Sorry, Mukta api lilaya vigraham kritva bhagavantam bhajante. Eternally liberated persons accept bodies suitable for the Lord's pastimes and engage in his worship. Ataiva bhakta hoy ishvar saman, bhakta sthane parabhav mane bhagavan. Therefore, the devotees are as good as the Supreme Lord. The Lord agrees to be defeated by his devotees. Ananta brahmande jata ache stuti mala, bhakta heno stutir na dhare keho kala. The prayers found in innumerable universes are inadequate to properly glorify the devotees. Dasa name Brahma Shiva Harisha Sabar, Dharani Dharendra Chahe Dasa Adhikar. Brahma, Shiva, and others are pleased to be addressed as servant. Ananta Shesh, who supports the universe, also desires the qualification to serve the Lord. E sab Ishvar Tulya Swabhave Bhakta Tathapi ho Bhakta hoi bare anurakta. Although they are equal to the Lord and are devotees by nature, They are extremely eager to become devotees. Heno bhakta advaite re bolite harishe, papi shab dukha pai nija karma doshe. Because of their past misdeeds, sinful people feel unhappy to graciously accept Advaita as a devotee. Yes, sinful people feel unhappy to graciously accept Advaita as a devotee. Krishna santosha boro bhakta heno name, Krishna chandra bine bhakta ar ke bajane. Krishna is greatly pleased with one who is accepted as a bhakta, for who other than Krishna knows the glories of the devotees? Udar bharana lagi ebe papi shab, lawai ishwar ami mule jarad gava. I don't know what that means. What's jarad gava? Sinful people who claim to be God for the purpose of filling their bellies are actually all idiots. Gardhabha Shrigala Tulya Shishya Gana Loya Keho Bole Ami Raghunatha Bhavagiya. Some instruct their ass-like and fox-like disciples. Go and meditate on me as Ramachandra. Kukurer bhaksha deho ihare loya. Boloye Ishwar Vishnu Maya Mugda Hoya. Although they have accepted a material body that is fit to be eaten by dogs, they call themselves God under the influence of Lord Vishnu's external energy. My God, we sometimes hear like what Gurudev would say is not, or what Srila Prabhupada would say is he's not God, he's a dog. But now he is saying, Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying he's fit to be eaten by dogs. Not only is he a dog, he's fit to be eaten by dogs. Sarva Prabhu Gora Chandra Shishachi Nandan Dekotar Shakti E Bhoriya Nayan. Gora Chandra, the son of Shachi, is the Lord of all. Behold his prowess to the full satisfaction of your eyes. Icha matra koti koti samrida hoilo, koto koti mahadipa jwalite lagilo. Simply by his will, millions of people gathered with millions of large burning torches. Keva ropi leka kola prati dware dware, keva gai bai keva pushpa vrishti kore. Who placed bananas at every doorstep? Who sang? Who played the musical instruments? And who showered the flowers? Korilen matra shridharer jalapan, ki hoilo na jani premer adhishtan. I cannot understand the love that manifests there when the Lord drank Sridhar's water. Bhakta vatsalya deki tribhuvana kande, bhumite lotai ke ho kesha nahi bandhe. On seeing the Lord's display of affection for his devotee, the people of the three worlds cried. Some rolled on the ground, and some let their hair loose. Sridhar kanda etrina dhoriya dashane, ucha kori hari bole shajal nayane. Holding straw between his teeth, Sridhar cried and loudly chanted the name of Hari with tears in his eyes. Ki jal korilo pan tridasherai, nachaye Sridhar kande kore hai hai. Sridhar danced, cried, and lamented, alas, what kind of water has the Lord Tridasharai drunk? The Lord of the, what is that, Tridasha? The Lord of the three, I don't, yeah. Bhakta Jal, I remember there being a Gaudiya Bhashya about this before, but I forgot. Bhakta Jal Pana Kori Prabhu Vishwambar, Sridhar Angane Nache Vaikunta Ishwar. After drinking his devotees' water, Vishwambar Prabhu, the Lord of Vaikunta, danced in Sridhar's courtyard. Priya Gane Chaturdike Gai Maharase, Nityananda Gadadhar Shobhetui Pashe. His intimate associates sang in great ecstasy in the four directions, while Nityananda and Gadadhar danced at the two sides of the Lord. Second description of Nityananda and Gadadhar dancing together. Kola Vichash Sevakir, Dekho Bhagya Sima, Brahma Shiva Kande Jar Dekhiya Mahima. I mean, in this chapter. Just behold the ultimate fortune of the Lord's servant, Sridhar, the banana seller. Even Brahma and Shiva cried on seeing his glories. Dhane jane pandite Krishnere nahi pai, kevala bhaktir vasha Chaitanya Goshai. One cannot attain Krishna by wealth, high birth, or scholarship. Lord Chaitanya is controlled only by devotional service. Jal pane Sridhare anugraha kori, nagare aila puna gauranga Srihari. After bestowing mercy on Sridhar by drinking his water, Lord Gauranga again entered the town. Nache Gora Chandra Bhakti Raser Thakur, Chaturdike Haridwani Shuniye Prachur. Gaurachandra, the master of all devotional mellows, continued to dance as a tumultuous vibration of Hari was heard in the four directions. Sarvaloka Jini Navadvīper Shobhai, Hari Bolo Shuni Matra Sabar Jivai. The beauty of Navadvīpa surpassed that of all other places in the creation, as the sound of Hari Bol emanated from the tongues of all. Jai Shukhe Vivala Shuk, Narada Shankar, She Shukhe Vivala Sarva Nadiya Nagar. The same ecstasy that overwhelms Shukadev, Narad, and Shankar now overwhelms the residents of Nadia. Sarva Navadvipe Nache Tribhuvana Rai, Gadi Gacha Paradanga Majida Diajai. The Lord of the three worlds passed through Gadi Gacha, Paradanga, and Majida while dancing throughout Navadvīpa. Gaudiya Bhashya. Among the many villages of Navadvīpa, the villages of Gadi Gacha, presently known as Sarupganj, God, I don't know how to pronounce that, Tiara, I guess, and Maheshganj are still present. The village of Paradanga was in the area of the present-day Brahmanagar. The village of Majida is situated within Madhyadvīpa. The location of the village of Paradanga is presently lost, or the name of the village has been changed. Ekanisha heno gyan na kori ho mane, koto kalpa gelo she nishar kirtane. Do not think that the kirtan lasted only one night, for several kalpas passed that night. Chaitanya Chandrer Kichu Asambhavan Noy Prubhange Jahar Hoy Brahmananda Pralay. Nothing is impossible for Chaitanya Chandra. Simply by the movement of his eyebrows, the entire universe is annihilated. Mahabhagyavan she eshab tattva jane, shushka tarka vadi papi kichui naman mane. One who knows these glories of the Lord is most fortunate. The sinful dry speculators do not accept this at all. Jai nagare nache vaikunter adhiraj, taharao bhashaye ananda sindhumaj. The residents of each town in which the Lord danced also floated in an ocean of bliss. She hunkar, she garjan, she premer dhara, dekhiya kanda estri purusha nadiyar. The men and women of Nadia wept on beholding the Lord's loud roars, cries, and flow of ecstatic love. Keho bole shachir charane namaskar, heno mahapurusha janmilo garbe jan. Someone said, I offer my obeisances at the feet of Shachi, from whose womb such a great personality took birth. Keho bole Jagannath Mishra Punyavanta, Keho bole Nadiyar Bhagyer nahi anta. Another person said, Jagannath Mishra is most pious. Someone else said, there is no end to Nadia's good fortune. E mata lila Prabhu koto kalpa koila, shabe bole aji ratri prabhata na hoila. In this way, the Lord performed his pastimes for several kalpas, as everyone expressed the desire that the night would never end. E mata boli shabe de jayakar, sarvaloke hari bine nahi bole ar. In this way, everyone expressed their jubilation by vibrating nothing other than the names of Hari. Prabhu dekhi sarvaloka dandavata hoya, poraye purushastriye balaka loya. Men, women, and children all fell down to offer obeisances when they saw the Lord. Shubha drishti gora chandra kori sabakare, Swanubhavanande Prabhu Kirtane Vihare. Swanubhavananda. After glancing mercifully on everyone, the Lord continued to enjoy the kirtan in his own ecstasy. Eshab lilar kabu nahi pariched, avirbhav tirobhav koheved. Although the Vedas describe the Lord's appearance and disappearance, there is actually no end to his pastimes. Je khane je rupa bhakta gane kore dhyan, she rupe she khane prabhu vidyaman. Whenever a devotee meditates on a particular form of the Lord appears in that form before the devotee. 5:12. In the Śrīmad Bhagavatam 3:9-11, it is stated, Yadyadhyatu urugaya vibhavayanti tattad vapu pranayase sad anugrahaya. You are so merciful, this is Śrīmad Bhagavatam. You are so merciful to your devotees that you manifest yourself in the particular eternal form of transcendence in which they always think of you. Adyapiha Chaitanya e shabalila kore, jar bhage thake she dekhoe nirantare. Lord Chaitanya performs these pastimes even today, and one who is fortunate can constantly see them. Gaudiya Bhashya. One cannot get a clear idea of an object of vision simply by seeing the middle portion of it. Living entities do not see the portions of the supreme consciousness that are covered by their propensity to enjoy, and as a result of Śrī Caitanya Dev's eternal pastimes, remain covered from the eyes of ordinary people. Those who are free from the coverings of karma and gyan, and as such, do not chase desires for either enjoying the fruits of their karma or for the will-o'-the-wisp of renouncing the fruits of their karma, can certainly always see the pastimes of Śrī Caitanya. The human being's propensities for enjoyment and renunciation make them materially conditioned. When they become free from the clutches of such conditioning, they achieve the power to surpass the platforms of enjoyment and renunciation. Otherwise, according to mortal and temporary considerations, they develop the sinful thirst for equating the pastimes of Śrī Caitanya with the karma and gyan covered pastimes of human beings. Bhakta lagi prabhur shakal avatar, bhakta by Krishna karma na janaye ar. The Supreme Lord incarnates for the sake of his devotees. No one other than the devotees can understand the activities of Krishna. Gaudiya Bhashya. Only the eternal servants of the Supreme Lord are qualified to realize the Lord's eternal incarnations. The Supreme Lord always appears in the devotees' hearts, which are eternally inclined to service. Unless one is inclined to the Lord's service, the activities of Krishna or his eternal pastimes do not become the object of one's realization. Koti janma jadi yoga Jagya tapa kore, bhakti bina kono karme phala nahi dhare. Even if one performs yoga, sacrifice, and austerity for millions of births, he cannot attain any result unless he takes to devotional service. Gaudiya Bhashya. Since yoga, sacrifice, and austerity are ephemeral, and since they're ephemeral, that means like fleeting, right? And situated on the material platform, they are distinct from pure spirit. Until a conditioned soul's propensity for enjoyment and renunciation is checked, he remains entangled in the network of karma, and thus cannot understand the essential characteristics of devotional service, which is the eternal propensity of the spirit soul. As soon as the eternal propensity of the spirit soul is awakened, he immediately understands that unless all activities like austerity, yoga, and sacrifice are performed for the pleasure of Hari, they result in lording it over material nature. Heno bhakti bine bhakta shevile na hoy, ataeva bhakta seva sarva shastre koi. Such devotional service cannot be attained without serving the devotees. Heno bhakti bine bhakta shevile na hoy. Therefore, all the scriptures glorify the service of the devotees. Gaudiya Bhashya. There is no alternative for a living entity to become liberated from the conditioned state other than exclusively following and serving the devotees. This is the ultimate word in all education. Wow, that is an awesome, awesome 2 sentences. I'm going to save that one. I'll just put it in our group. Okay. One should discuss the Srimad Bhagavatam verses beginning Rahu Ganai Tat Tapasa Nayati and Naisham Matis Tavad. I'm not going to read the verses because he didn't quote them, but I'll just read the translation. My dear King Rahugana, unless one has the opportunity to smear his entire body with the dust of the lotus feet of great devotees, one cannot realize the absolute truth simply by observing celibacy, strictly following the rules and regulations of householder life, leaving home as a vanaprastha, accepting sannyas, or undergoing severe penances in winter by keeping oneself submerged in water, or surrounding oneself in summer by fire and the scorching heat of the sun. There are many other processes to understand the absolute truth, but the absolute truth is only revealed to one who has attained the mercy of a great devotee. And then the other quotes that he gives, they're the 2 verses that have Rajobhishekam, right? Yeah, both of them. Mahat Pada Rajobhishekam in this verse, and in this other verse, also Mahiyasham Pado Rajobhishekam. Iskinchananam. Yeah, this is a famous verse. Unless they smear upon their, this is Prahlad Maharaj, right? Yeah. Unless they smear upon their bodies the dust of the lotus feet of a Vaishnav, completely freed from material contamination, persons very much inclined toward materialistic life cannot be attached to the lotus feet of the Lord, who is glorified for his uncommon activities. Only by becoming Krishna conscious and taking shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord in this way can one become freed from material contamination. Okay, we're almost at the end. Adi Deva Jai Jai Nityananda Rai Chaitanya Kirtana Spure Jahara Kripai. All glories to Lord Nityananda, the primeval Lord, by whose mercy glorification of Lord Chaitanya manifests. Keho bole Nityananda Balarama Sama, Keho bole Chaitanya Boro Priyatama. Some say Nityananda is equal to Balaram, and some say he is most dear to Lord Chaitanya. Keho bole Mahateji Angsha Adhikari, Keho bole Kono Rupa Bhujite Napari. Some say he is a most powerful plenary portion of the Lord, and others say we cannot understand who he is. Kiva Jiva Nityananda Kiva Bhakta Jnani Jar Jeno Mata Icha Na Boloye Keni. Someone may consider Nityananda a living entity, Someone may consider him a devotee, and someone may consider him a jnani. They may say whatever they like. Jai Śrī Caitanya Nityananda nahe, tabu she charanadhan rahuk hridaye. No matter what relationship Nityananda has with Lord Chaitanya, I keep the treasure of his lotus feet in my heart. Eto parihare oje papi ninda kore, tabe lati maro tar shirer upare. Therefore, I kick the head of any sinful person who disregards the glories of Lord Nityananda and dares to criticize him. Chaitanya priyer paye mor namaskar, avaduta chandra prabhu hok amar. I offer my obeisances at the feet of Lord Chaitanya's dear devotees, so that Avadut Chandra may become my Lord. Chaitanya kripaye she Nityananda chini, Nityananda janaile Gora Chandra jani. By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, I came to know Lord Nityananda. And if Nityananda reveals Gora Chandra to me, I will come to know him. Gora Chandra Nityananda Sri Rama Lakshman. Gora Chandra Krishna Nityananda Sankarshan. Gora Chandra and Nityananda are Sri Ram and Lakshman. Gora Chandra is Krishna and Nityananda is Sankarshan. Gaudiya Bhashya. Shri Gaur and Nityananda are Sri Ram and Lakshman. Shri Gaur and Nityananda are Sri Krishna Narayan and Sankarshan. The observation of Śrī Caitanya's pastimes on different platforms of the supreme worshipable object gives the understanding that Śrī Caitanya and Nityananda are non-different from the supreme worshipable truth. Through his various manifestations, Śrī Nityananda Prabhu is certainly able to serve Śrī Caitanya Dev. The Jiva Shakti, or living entities, certainly emanate from Śrī Nityananda Prabhu. Therefore, the characteristic of service is the eternal characteristic of every living entity. Wow, that's a nice point. We emanate from Nityananda Prabhu, who's like made of service, like he is service personified. And so therefore, our characteristic of service, this is our eternal characteristic also, because we're coming from that embodiment of service. Nityananda Swarupe She Chaitanya Bhakti Sarva Bhave Korite Dharaye Prabhu Shakti. Nityananda Swarup is empowered by the Lord to fully engage in the devotional service of Lord Chaitanya. Chaitanya Jata Priya Sevaka Pradhan Tahara She Gyata Nityanandir Akhyan. All the beloved principal servants of Lord Chaitanya know the glories of Nityananda. Tabe je dekoho anyon, tabe je dekoho anyonye dvandva baje, ranga kore Krishna Chandra keho nahi bhuje. But the quarrels that are seen among the devotees are simply Krishna's pastimes, which are not understood by all. Notice how this point has come up, like, I don't even know how many times and in how many chapters and how many different contexts. This point is like one of the main points emphasized by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. But the quarrels that are seen among devotees are simply Krishna's pastimes, which are not understood by all. So never take sides if Vaishnavas or if pure Vaishnavas are quarreling. Ihate je eka Vaishnaver pakkaloy, anya Vaishnavere ninde she jai koi. If someone takes the side of one Vaishnav and blasphemes another Vaishnav, he is certainly vanquished. Almost said this exact same quote word for word. And I think it was in the Jagai Madai chapter. He mentioned this verse here. Gaudiya Bhashya. The loving quarrels between Śrī Nityananda Prabhu and Śrī Advaita Prabhu are enacted by the will of Krishna. This fact is not understood by materialistic people. If without understanding one takes the side of one Vaishnav, then the other Vaishnav is neglected. As a result of such actions, offense is accrued. So we have many examples of our acharyas having some difference of opinion or some kind of quarrel. But even if it's my own guru, still we should just understand they are on a completely different level. I cannot understand what's actually going on internally, and maybe in the spiritual world they're having a fight and it's coming out externally in this world. Who knows? But we can't judge and say why this is like that. We have to just offer our pranam, like all glories to the loving quarrels of pure devotees. Sarva bhave bhaje Krishna, Kare na je ninde, she ganana pai Vaishnaver brinde. One who serves Krishna without deviation and without blaspheming anyone is counted as a Vaishnav. Let's reread that. That is one of the most important points, I think, on this path of bhakti. One who serves Krishna without deviation and without blaspheming anyone, that person is counted as a Vaishnav. Gaudiya Bhashya. By serving the Supreme Lord without deviation, one does not get an opportunity to blaspheme the demigods who are situated within the Supreme Lord's external energy. Such an exalted devotee, free from blasphemy, is truly counted among the topmost servants of the Supreme Lord. Advaita Charane Mor, E Namaskar, Tan Priyata Himati Rahuk Amar. I offer my obeisances at the feet of Advaita. May my mind remain attached to those who are dear to him. Gaudiya Bhashya. Those who commit offenses at the lotus feet of Sri Gadadhar Pandit while claiming subordination to Advaita Acharya can never be actual servants of Sri Advaita. They are simply sinful. The author desires that his minds may always be fixed on Sri Advaita Prabhu's actual servants who glorify devotees headed by Gadadhar. If one wants evidence of who is eligible to actually see Śrī Caitanya-dev, then he should see who is happy to hear topics of Śrī Caitanya. Such a person is certainly qualified to engage in the service of Śrī Caitanya. And from everything Rukmini Didi said, that point that we read about not taking sides of Vaishnavas has been there at least 4 times. Yeah, if not more. Yeah, definitely. I think it's been more than 4 times. But yeah, I think during Vrindavan Das Thakur's time, it seems like there was a lot of tension between many followers of Advaita Acharya. Like many of them didn't follow Gadadhar. They didn't accept her. They're offensive towards Gadadhar Pandit, who is the guru of Advaita Acharya's son, Achyutananda. But I guess there was like a big divide in the family. And also Nityananda Prabhu. Like people would so I think like during Vrindavan Das Thakur's time, there's a lot of blasphemy of Gadadhar Pandit and Advaita and Nityananda Prabhu happening. So that was, and maybe that's why he keeps on bringing up this point over and over again because of that. But it's very relevant for all time also. Sarva Goshti Sahita Gauranga Jai Jai Shunile Madhya-khaṇḍa Bhakti Labhya Hoy. All glories to Gauranga along with his associates. Simply by hearing the topics of Madhya-khaṇḍa, one attains devotional service. Advaita, and I just noticed Kishor's comments. He said, one sannyasi saw 2 Mahabhagavats in an argument. He commented, it's interesting watching these 2 old guys fight. Shubhananda was saying, if two elephants are in a fight, don't try to go in between. This might be a quote by Srila Bhakti Bhagavad-tirtha Goswami. This might be a quote by Srila Bhakti Bhagavad-tirtha Goswami Maharaj. Oh, nice. Very nice point. Shubhananda, thank you. Okay. Advaiter Pakshaloya Ninde Gadadhar She Papishta Kavunahe Advaita Kinkar. That sinful person who takes the side of Advaita and blasphemes Gadadhar can never be a servant of Advaita. Chaitanya Chandrer Katha Amrita Madhur Shakal Jiver Mane Baruk Prachur. The topics of Śrī Caitanya Chandra are as sweet as nectar. Let this nectar inundate the minds of all living entities. Jai. Shunile Chaitanya kathā jar hoy sukh. She avashya dekhibek Chaitanya Srimukh. One who is happy to hear the topics of Lord Chaitanya will certainly see his lotus face. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Chanda Jan Vrindavana Dasata Chupada Jugegan. Accepting Shri Krishna Chaitanya and Nityananda Prabhu as my life and soul, I, Vrindavan Das, sing the glories of their lotus feet. Thus ends the English translation of the Gaudiya Bhashya commentary on Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Madhya-khaṇḍa, chapter 23, entitled Wandering About Navadvīpa on the Day the Lord Delivered the Kazi. This chapter was 536 verses long. This must be the longest chapter we've read yet in all of our readings. Maybe this is the longest chapter in all of Caitanya-bhāgavata. Who knows? All right, so I'm looking at the time now. It is just turned to 8:29. So this is the time we usually finish our reading. But it's Madhvācārya's disappearance day today. So I'm wondering, let me know if this is okay. Kishore Prabhu, I'm wondering if Kishore could do the Jaidvani to end the program, and then for anybody who wants to stick around, then I'll read something about Madhvācārya just so that we can honor him today. Also, I really have to use the bathroom. I just have to pee, but yeah, that would give me a chance to do that as well. But so yeah, does that how does that sound? For anybody who needs to go, you can go now. But if you'd like to stay longer, then I'll just read a short thing about Madhvācārya. Is that cool? Oh, Kishore has a cough. Okay. Okay. Then yeah. I really have to use the bathroom, so that's a problem. Maybe I'll go live a bit later. And I'll just read a short thing about Madhvācārya, because we shouldn't let this day go by without glorifying Madhvācārya. I don't think Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada would be very happy about that if we didn't glorify him.
I think I can do the Jaidvani, but
Okay.
I won't put the camera on, so if I do have to cough, you guys won't hear me.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'll be right back.
Jai Saprakash Shri Guru Gauranga Gana Harika Giridhari Radvinar Bihari Radnainath Radravan Bihari Radmarva Shishi Radha Gopinath Jiv Ki Jai Shri Govind Gopinath Madan Mahan Jiv Ki Jai Jai Natyalela Pravishtom Vishnupar Paramaham Savri Vrajagshari Vristo Trishta Shishman Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Guru Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Natyalela Pravishtom Vishnupar Paramaham Savri Vrajagshari Vristo Trishta Shishman Bhakti Vigyan Narayan Goswami Maharaj Pati Pavan Shila Gurudev Ki Jai जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टों विष्णुपादस्तो तृष्टशिशुमान भक्ति बल तीर्थ गोस्वामी महाराज की जय जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टों विष्णुपादस्तो तृष्टशिशुमान भक्तिविरान वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टों विष्णुपादस्तो तृष्टशिशुमान भक्तिविरान त्रिविक्रम गोस्वामी महाराज की जय जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टों विष्णुपादस्तो तृष्टशिशुमान भक्तिविरान स्वामी गोस्वामी महाराज शील प्रभुपाद की जय जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टों विष्णुपादस्तो तृष्टशिशुमान भक्ति दयित मानव गोस्वामी परम गुरु महाराज की जय जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टों विष्णुपादस्तो तृष्टशिशुमान भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज परम गुरुदेव की जय जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टों विष्णुपादस्तो तृष्टशिशुमान जगुर गुरु शिव ऋषभानावि द्वैतदास शिल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय स्वापरिकार शिल प्रभुपाद ठाकुर की जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टों विष्णुपार महापरम भगवत परवार परमहंस स्तोत्र शिशुमान गौर किशोर दास पबजी महाराज की जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टों विष्णुपाद सप्तम गोस्वामी स्तोत्र शिशुमात सचितानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर महाशय की जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टों विष्णुपार वैष्णव सर्वम स्तोत्र शिशुमान जगन्नाथ पबजी महाराज की जय सूर्य कुंदवास सिद्ध शिल मधुसुंदस पबजी महाराज की जय श्री उदविदास उदरान दास की जय गुरुविदान आचार्य शिशुमार बलिदेव विभूषण प्रभु की जय महामहोपत्याय रसिकशनमणि शिल विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर पार की जय शिल रसिकान मुरारी प्रभु की जय शिशिल रामचंद्र कविराज की जय श्री लोचन दास ठाकुर की जय जय शिल नरोत्तम श्रीनिवास श्यामानंद प्रभुत्राय की जय शिल कृष्ण सुखबराश गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय शिल व्यास अवतार अर्कावि शिल वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय श्री अष्टकविराज वसुर जानव नित्यानंद दुरस गोपाल श्री चौषति महंत की जय। श्री जगाय मदाय की जय। जय श्री रूपा श्री सनातन भट्टरगना श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास सुरगनाथ शर गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर यरमानंद लोकनाथ भूगर्भ हरि गौर परिषद वृंद की जय। नमाचार्य शल हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री ईश्वर परिपाद माधवेंद्र परिपाद की जय। श्री अंतरदीप मायपुर समंदीप गौतम दीप मध्यदीप कलुदीप विद्युदीप जानदीप मातृदीप महादीप रुद्रदीप मात्मक श्री नवदीप धाम की जय। श्री एक चक्र धाम की जय। श्री शांतिपुर धाम की जय। श्री गौरचंद्र भगवान की जय। श्री श्री गौर गराधर जीव की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ गोपी गोपी गौ गिर गोपिटान द्वर माँ श्री ब्रज मंडप धाम की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गंग सखी आमन सखी तुलसी भक्ति देव की जय। वृषभान नंदिनी श्रीमती राधा रानी ठाकुरानी की जय। श्री ललिता विशाखा चित्र चंपकला तुतुंग विदे इंदुले करंग देवी सुदेवी अरि सखी वृंद की जय। श्री अनंग प्रेम मजलाली श्री रूपलमंगा राघविल सगुण रति कस्तूरी कमल नयन मणि अरिमंजारी वृंद की जय। श्रीमती वृंद देव की जय। श्री भगवती पूर्णमासी उमा देव की जय। श्री गोपीश्वर सर श्री महादेव की जय। जय राधम परन कित राम श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। जय श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा सुदर्शन चक्र नीलमारव जीव की जय। श्री जगन्नाथपुरी पुरुषोत्तम क्षत्र मंडल नीलाचल धाम की जय। सर्व विक्रमिन शौनपुरी भक्त विक्रमिन आशीषेन्द्र सिंह देव की जय। भक्तराज भक्त प्रवर शिवलाल महाराज की जय। शिवलाल लक्ष्मेंद्र सिंह की जय। श्री छरिदाम छरि संप्रदाय छरि आचार्य की जय। श्री मध्वार मनोजा विष्णु स्वामी निम्बदित्य छरि आचार्य की जय। आकर मत्र श्री चैतन्य मार की जय। श्री गौरीमार वृंद की जय। ग्रंथ राशि मार भगवताम भगवती गीता चैतन्य चरितामृत चैतन्य भागवत जैव धर्म आदि सर्व गौरी वैष्णव ग्रंथ वृंद की जय। श्री भुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम प्रभु की जय। श्री भुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन धर्म की जय। श्री भुवन मंगल धन्य कलु तर्क ब्रह्म श्री हरि कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे महामंत्र की जय। श्री आनंदपुरी वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री समग्र गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री चैतन्य भगवान की जय। श्री श्री गौर नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। शिल वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय। शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। शिल प्रभुपाद गौरी वश्य की जय। श्री मध्वाचार्य तिरुभा महामहोत्सव की जय। जय श्री ताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रद देवी सत्यवत्याय नमो नमः। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
Dandavat pranams, everybody. Thank you so much, Kishore Prabhu. And Krishnamai Didi, Shubhananda Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Ndri Hari Prabhu, Subhadra Didi, and so many devotees. And wow, a lot of people on YouTube and Facebook today. Raseshwari Mataji, Ganga Mataji, Vidyalasa Didi, Vangsiwala Prabhu, Hari Priya Didi, Gargraj Ji, Rukmini Didi, Hari Priya, right? Yeah. And so many others. Dandavat pranams. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, so I found something. This is on purebhakti.com. There's a class, a very short class that my Gurudev gave, only 1,000 words, like less than 1,000 words. And so this won't take very much time to read. And there is an endnote. The endnote's longer than the actual, the endnotes are longer than the actual class. But I'm not going to read those. I'm just going to read this because I don't want to keep anybody here too long. Yeah, but there are like I remember on Big Drum, actually bigdrum.us, Srivas translated a whole bunch of really awesome things. Like I think what is it called? Dwadasha Stotram or something like that. It's Dwadasha something by Madhvācārya, and many beautiful things about Madhvācārya. I think even Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada glorifying Madhvācārya or like offering a prayer to him. Anyways, there's special things there also. But yeah, okay. So this is a class that my Gurudev gave on October 13th, 2005. Today is the appearance day of Śrī Madhvācārya, who is the Sampradaya Acharya of our Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, Vaishnav Sampradaya. He appeared in a place called Vajakakshetra. His father's name was Madhvāgaya, and his mother's name was Vedavidya, and his childhood name was Vasudev. He took sannyas at a very young age, and his sannyas name was Purna Pragya. His sannyas guru, who followed the Mayavad philosophy of impersonalism, was named Śrī Achyuta-preksha. Madhvācārya took birth in Udupi, and his life was quite astonishing. He was an incarnation of Hanuman, Bhim, and Vayu. So he was very strong. Yeah, my God. Hanuman, Bhim, and Vayu. There was once a businessman who was trading in Gopi Chandan Tilak. His boat became stuck in the mud and he could not go forward. At that time, Srila Madhvācārya had been bathing in the ocean, and he saw the big ship full of large pieces of Gopi Chandan there. He was approached by that businessman, and in order to assist him, he pushed the boat by himself. He was so strong that the boat started moving, and he was offered a very big piece of Chandan as a gift and appreciation. In the meantime, while the boatmen were unloading the Chandan, that piece was broken, and a very beautiful deity of Krishna manifested from inside. That deity's name was of Bal Gopal, or Dadi Manthan Gopal. Oh, and Kishore just sent a verse from, where is that verse from? Srimad Hanumar Bhima Madhvantar Gata Rama Krishna Veda Yasatmaka Lakshmi Hayagrivaya Nama. It's from Mani Manjari. Oh yeah, Srivas is translating Mani Manjari as well. You can find that on bigdrum.us. It means obeisance to Lakshmi Hayagriva and to Ram, Krishna, and Veda Vyas, present within Sri Madhva, the incarnation of Sri Hanuman, Bhima, and their source, the Pavan, wind of Vaikunta. Okay, so that big piece of Chandan broke open, and then there's Dadi Manthan Gopal. This Gopal deity carries Mother Yashoda's stick for churning yogurt. Madhvācārya, he became very happy. Although the deity was very heavy, he took the deity on his shoulder, and carrying him to Udupi, he sang a song to him that came spontaneously from his heart. In other words, as he walked the 7 miles to Udupi, he composed the song called Dvadasha Stotra. Sorry, is that what I said? Anyways, yeah. Dvadasha Stotra, 12 prayers. And Srivas translated this. You can find it on bigdrum.us. I think it's the first post, actually, that he translated this. He carried the deity there himself, composing many stavas and stutis to Gopal, and after reaching Udupi, he established Gopal there. Tumi khao? Amar jana peka korte hobe na. Srila Madhvācārya wrote many books, and especially important are his 3 commentaries on Brahma Sutra, Brihad Bhashya and 2 Anubhashyas. In the Brihad Bhashya, he gave evidences for the presentation of his Shuddha Dvaita philosophy. This philosophy states, Lord Shri Krishna, God, is the supreme eternal, the supreme living entity, the supreme self. The purpose of the entire yoga system is to concentrate the mind on this supreme self. We are not the supreme self. That should be understood. The supreme self is God. This is Shuddha Dvaitavad, pure dualism. God is different from me. He is supreme and I am his subordinate. He is great and I am small. He is infinite and I am infinitesimal. In his commentary, Srila Madhvācārya wrote his own composition in the form of Sanskrit verses, defeating the impersonal conception of Sri Shankaracharya. All the Vaishnava Sampradaya acharyas like Sri Ramanujacharya, Vishnuswami, and Nimbaditya have contributed to defeating the theories of Sri Shankaracharya. And Srila Madhvācārya did this especially with his philosophy of Shuddha Dvaitavad, or Bhedavad, pure dualism. The Shrutis, the Vedic scriptures, have described both principles, that the individual is the same as God, and also that the soul is different from him. In most cases, however, prominence has been given to the aspect of difference. In his writings, Srila Madhvācārya has described 5 differences. There is an eternal difference between God and the jiva. God and Maya, Maya and the Jiva, one Jiva and another Jiva, and one feature of Maya and another feature of Maya. These 5 differences. All the 4 bona fide sampradayas are Vaishnav sampradayas. This means that there is similarity in their goal and object of worship. They all worship Vishnu Tattva. The followers of the followers of the Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Sampradaya worship Śrī Lakshmi Narayan. And in the Sampradaya of Srila Madhvācārya, there is worship of Bala Gopala Krishna. Srila Madhvācārya established 4 main mats. In each of these mats, there are 2 sannyasis. So in total, there were 8 sannyasis. These 8 sannyasi acharyas practice worshipping Lord Krishna in the mood of the gopis. But this worship was not given to the general population. Sriman Mahaprabhu saw some lacking in the conception of Srila Madhvācārya, and he adjusted that. Śrī Kavi Karnapur and Śrī Baladev Vijabhushan have both declared that our Sampradaya Acharya is Srila Madhvācārya. In our disciplic succession, we see that Srila Madhavendra Puri took initiation from Srila Lakshmipati Tirtha in the Madhva Sampradaya. Therefore, we have a connection with Śrī Madhvācārya, although we are especially related with Srila Madhavendra Puri. Śrī Advaita Acharya and Śrī Nityananda Prabhu are related with Srila Madhavendra Puri, and Madhavendra Puri is related with Śrī Madhvācārya. Some people do not accept the position of Śrī Madhvācārya, that he is our Sampradaya Acharya. Some Sahajas and caste Goswamis cannot reconcile this. They say that Srila Baladev Vijabhushan was not in our Sampradaya because he was in the Madhva Sampradaya. But actually, our Sampradaya is related to Srila Madhvācārya. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has therefore said very strongly that those who do not accept Srila Baladev Vijabhushan or Srila Madhvācārya have no relation to pure bhakti. They are Kali Chela. They are followers, disciples of the personality of Kali Yuga. We must understand all these established philosophical truths. Then we can understand who Srila Madhvācārya is and what our relation with him is. We are Vaishnav sannyasis. We have the sannyas name, Bhakti Vedanta. I want that especially those who are in the renounced order, sannyasis, should learn and remember at least some of the sutras of Vedanta. They should remember at least 25 sutras, together with their meaning and explanation. If you remember at least 10 sutras of the Brahma Sutra, from the first one up to the 10th, you will find all philosophy there. In the Srimad Bhagavatam's 4 original verses, the entire Srimad Bhagavatam is present, and this is also the case with Brahma Sutra. All the sutras are included in the first 10. You should surely remember them, otherwise you'll be defeated by Mayavad philosophers. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. I remember in Gurukul trying to remember those first 10. I don't remember them anymore, but what is it? Atato Brahma Jigyasa, Shastra Yonitvat Samanvaya, or something like that. But yeah, okay. That's something, if anybody wants to learn the 10 first sutras of Vedanta Sutra with me, we should do it sometime. Okay, so I mean, there are other really nice things to read. Like, a nice thing to read would be from Navadvīpa Mahatma. There's that whole section of Mahaprabhu and Madhvācārya. That's really beautiful. And anyhow, but I think time's up now. It's 8:46. I have a lot of things to do, so I think I'm just going to end now. It's going to be, our readings are going to be a little bit rushed for a while, like until the 26th. Yeah, because but then after the 26th, everything will become very relaxed in our readings. So, all right. Thank you so much for staying till the end. Hari Bol Rukmini Didi. Hare Krishna. And everybody, Dandavat Pranams. See you all tomorrow. Tomorrow is the disappearance day of Ramanujacharya. But I'm going to do a full-on reading of Caitanya-bhāgavata that day, like read a lot. So maybe we can do a similar thing at the end of the Mangalacharan. We can read something about Ramanujacharya, like for anybody who wants to stay like longer. All right. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranams. See you all tomorrow.